It is April 1943. The war is turning, and somewhere off the coast of Spain, a dead man is floating toward shore. He has a name, he has a rank, he has love letters in his pocket and a briefcase chained to his wrist. He has a whole life, a fiancée, a mother, a favorite restaurant in London. He is also completely fake, and he is about to change the entire course of World War II. His name, the name they gave him, was Major William Martin of the British Royal Marines. But his real name was Glyndwr Michael, a homeless Welshman who died alone in London, having swallowed rat poison. No family came forward. No one claimed the body. He was, in the eyes of the world, nobody. The British intelligence services made him somebody. The plan was called Operation Mincemeat, and it was, by almost any measure, the most audacious deception in the history of modern warfare. The idea came from a naval intelligence officer named Ewan Montague, who had been wrestling with a problem that kept him awake at night. The Allies were preparing to invade Europe. Everyone knew it was coming. Hitler knew it, his generals knew it, the entire German high command was watching and waiting. The question was not if. The question was where. The obvious answer was Sicily. It sat at the center of the Mediterranean like an outstretched hand, close to North Africa where the Allies were already fighting, easy to supply, easy to reach. So obvious, in fact, that the Germans had already fortified it. Thousands of troops, heavy artillery, coastal defenses built to hold. If the Allies landed in Sicily as planned, the beaches would turn red. Montague and his colleague Charles Cholmondeley needed the Germans to look somewhere else. They needed Hitler to pull his forces off Sicily and send them somewhere, anywhere. That was not Sicily. And they needed to do it without Hitler ever suspecting he had been tricked. So they built a man. They took Glyndwr Michael's body, preserved it, dressed it in a British officer's uniform, and gave it a second life more vivid than anything the real man had ever lived. They wrote him love letters from a woman named Pam, letters that hinted at an engagement, at a future, at a man with something to come home to. They put a stern letter from his bank manager in his coat, nagging him about his overdraft. They gave him theater ticket stubs, a photo of his girl, a bill from his club. They made him real in the way that only the living usually are, through the small, embarrassing, tender debris of an ordinary life. And then they chained a briefcase to his wrist. Inside that briefcase were fake top-secret letters from senior British commanders. The letters discussed, in careful and convincing detail, a two-pronged Allied invasion, not Sicily, but Greece and Sardinia. Sicily, the letter suggested, was merely a feint, a distraction, designed to make the Germans look the wrong way. It was breathtaking in its audacity. They were hiding the truth inside a lie that pretended to reveal the truth. On the 30th of April, 1943, a British submarine called HMS Seraph surfaced off the coast of Huelva in southern Spain. The crew carried the body to the water's edge, released it into the sea, and watched it drift toward shore. Spain was officially neutral, but Huelva's chief intelligence officer was a known German sympathizer. Montague and the team were counting on that. The body washed ashore within hours. Spanish authorities recovered it. And exactly as planned, the German intelligence network got to the briefcase first. What happened next stunned even the men who designed it. The Germans did not just glance at the documents. They analyzed them, photographed them, passed them up the chain of command, and ultimately placed them in front of Adolf Hitler himself. And Hitler, the most paranoid, suspicious, detail-obsessed man in the German war machine, believed them. He ordered divisions moved from Sicily to Greece. He ordered Rommel to take command of the defense of Greece and Sardinia. He personally sent a message to his commanders that read, "Sardinia and the Peloponnese are the threatened areas." On the 9th of July, 1943, the Allies landed in Sicily. The beaches were not as defended as they feared. The resistance crumbled faster than anyone had dared to hope. Sicily fell in just 38 days. The path into mainland Europe cracked open. Military historians Ian Kershaw and Antony Beevor have both argued that Operation Mincemeat was not merely a clever trick. It was a strategic pivot that shortened the entire Italian campaign by months, possibly saving tens of thousands of lives on both sides. Think about what that means. One dead man, one briefcase, one set of forged letters, and the entire German defensive posture in the Mediterranean shifted. Glinder Michael never knew any of this. He died cold and alone in a London warehouse, invisible to the world. He never knew he would be given a name, a rank, a fiancé, a story. He never knew that his body would drift through the cold Atlantic and land in the hands of a German spy. He never knew that a man named Hitler would read the letters chained to his wrist and believe every word. His gravestone in Huelva reads, Major William Martin, Royal Marines. Beloved son of John Glyndwr Michael and the late Claudia Michael, dulce et decorum est pro patria mori. It is sweet and fitting to die for your country. He did not know he was dying for any country at all. And yet, of all the soldiers, generals, and spies who fought in World War II, it was this forgotten, nameless man, a man who was nobody, who may have done more to end the war than almost anyone else. Today, when you hear about a plan so crazy it just might work, remember this. Sometimes the most powerful weapon in a war is not a gun, not a tank, not a bomb. Sometimes it is a dead man with a briefcase and a love letter in his pocket. Sometimes the truth wins by pretending to be a secret. And sometimes nobody, given the right story, can change everything.